Hello and welcome to Rebrand Everything. Today we're going to be designing a new logo for IKEA's new chain of restaurants. So a new line of IKEA restaurants, what does that mean? Well, these ones aren't going to be inside the store, they're going to be standalone and they're going to have a completely different feel. It's all going to be nice industrial design with the mezzanines and the open metal ceilings. So they need a new identity to go with that. This is going to be quite an upmarket feeling place. I think it's going to be premium, serving traditional Swedish food. So then, looking at the brief. After the success of their in-store restaurants, IKEA are opening a new standalone line of high-end restaurants. The modern industrially themed restaurants will be offering an upmarket dining experience, serving a range of traditional Swedish food. They are looking to maintain the connection with the IKEA brand whilst clearly defining that this is a premium restaurant. So yeah, when I immediately read that, I think we probably are going to end up using the IKEA logos just as a small part of this, just to maintain that trust and recognition that most people have for that brand. But I don't think it should be a major part of it. I don't think it should really sway the actual logo. It should be there, but not OTT. Now, I'm definitely not an expert on Swedish food or anything like that, so I think the next stage is to do some research. So I started the research session by laying out a mood board and putting a section on there for name ideas. And I thought a good place to start would be visiting the current IKEA website to get an idea of how they present their current restaurant. And I started working on a name that shows it's both Swedish and premium / upmarket, so I spent quite a lot of time on Google Translate, translating it forwards and backwards, just making sure it didn't translate to anything weird. And then I just cross-referenced that by Googling it to make sure someone else had used it, a Swedish person who actually speaks Swedish. It makes sense, so it wasn't a gibberish sentence. After that, I just started looking for design inspiration by searching up Swedish fonts and Swedish design styles. When I was looking at the IKEA restaurant website, I realised they didn't really have a branding, they just call it IKEA Food, and then there's IKEA Bistro, but there's no particular logo, so we're treading new ground. Okay, then this is really cool. I've just found a font called Sweden Sans, which looks like it might be the perfect thing for our sans serif version of the logo. I'm just looking around to see if there's any copyright problem. I've even searched out with the word copyright and with the word usage, and it looks like you could just use it. And also, it comes with a swatches guide of the yellow and the blue, so it makes that even easier for me. Brilliant. Normally at this point we'd start grabbing the notepad and pencil to sketch out some ideas, but I think as this logo is going to be quite typography led, we're going to jump straight into Adobe Illustrator. The design process for this one is a bit different because we are not starting at sketches, we've gone straight into Illustrator. That's just because so many of these are typography based and word marks that I can't draw that out as easily and quickly in a sketchbook as I can as just getting into Illustrator and get some ideas laid out. Started off by looking at a few of the Swedish words and how they could fit in there, and then started playing around with a few fonts and just generally just setting the scene, really seeing how it all works, how the colours work together. Also made this little knife and fork icon, just really simple little icon, and then just put a box around it, just with all really careful spacing, just so it looked all neat and tidy. I thought that could work. A little bit industrial and quite basic icon. Now when you use the blue and the yellow together, it really screamed IKEA. It's just like there's no getting around that. It just makes you think of it, which is good. It is good for them. But for this restaurant, I didn't want it to come across too as if I didn't want it to look too much like it's just a cafe inside IKEA. I wanted to make it very clear that this is a different section of their brand. Started playing around with a few more of the Taste of Sweden idea because I thought that was quite a nice name and it looked quite upmarket and nice in the serif fonts. I think I really liked the modern look of these ones with the italic serifs and the thick sans serif fonts. I think we used Futura, which actually used to be IKEA's font before 2010. Oh yeah, with this one I started I've noticed that the little umlaut on the top of the O kind of could look like eyes, and then the big open circular mouth, so put little teeth in, but I think that looked a little bit childish for what we're going for on this project, but still thought it was a funny idea. Oh yeah, this font Veneer, I think that's the standard cut of it, and it comes with all this like grungy pattern on it, and I thought that could be quite nice for the industrial aesthetic we're going for. And I thought about probably the best way of seeing which one's going to work is getting a picture of the rest and just putting a little colour swatch over it, and then putting the logo onto that to see how it looks like in situ. Added that little tagline, an IKEA innovation, and just removed like the yellow box off the background, just so there's a touch of IKEA but not too overpowering, because I really don't want people to think this is just a cafe inside the store. These are the 4 shortlisted options. I like to show them on a black background and a white background so you can see them in full colour, and also how they reverse out of a dark background or an image, which inevitably happens. Let me know what your favourite is. Put 1, 2, 3 or 4 in the comments and we'll see who wins. As this is still a new channel, I don't think I'm going to have enough votes to actually get a wide enough view on this, so I'm just going to choose my favourite and we'll take it from there. I think option 2 is the winner for me. I think it hits a nice balance of the Swedish design elements with the little bubble, and I think the typography looks tasteful. And I think the name of this one makes it very clear that it is somewhere to purchase food, and then the font gives it the vibe of a restaurant instead of like a cafe or supermarket. The font we've used for the word Taste Sweden is Baskerville Old Face, which is obviously not modern, but used in this way I think it could look modern. Depends on the collateral around it really, like the menus and everything. I think the IKEA mark is big enough that you'd notice it, but not so big that it makes you think you're going to be assembling your own dinner. So I think hopefully we've hit the brief there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Enjoyed this episode, you'll probably enjoy episode 1 as well, where we rebranded Tesco's, which is a UK supermarket chain, and they've also got a few different sub-brands that we had to consider, so might be worth a watch if you're interested in design and that sort of thing. Cheers.